Alright guys and gals, we're doing something a little different today, and depending on how well this video does and you know how much feedback I will get and how much you guys will enjoy it, we will do that a little bit more often, because the thing is with guides and stuff like that in the past, they haven't been doing that well for the channel, at least as much as I would have hoped to. But I mean, I'm just gonna try it again with another format, I suppose. So right here, as you can see, I had to upload it to YouTube because my Windows Media Player or whatever the fuck is just so shit right now and lags all the time, and I want to have a cleaner viewing experience. But as you can see, for one, right here it says F because I'm a failure, and you know, this is the screen I see all the time when I do speedruns. But most importantly, this is Pervert the Futterman, Toxic Shock, A+, no damage. And we're doing an analysis of that one. This is not the run that I uploaded. Like, I uploaded a run that was like 16 minutes. It's not that run. It's another one that was also pretty good. I think it went like 18 minutes and one sound trap triggered, but had some mistakes in it. And basically what I want to do for this video, I would just want to go over the entire thing. And I mean, technically you could say this is a guide for Pervert the Futterman, Toxic Shock, which you would be like, hey Kotz, Toxic Shock ends soon, why are we doing this? But also, I just also, in the meantime, want to go into the mentality and just share my thought process in any given moment, so you can, I guess you can apply all these tips and all that advice that I'm giving you today to other trials. Obviously, I'm just gonna put it right here, in case you have never seen one of my videos before. I am an A+, no damage, no bitches enthusiast, so I'm not doing stuff like abusing psychosis and all that weird stuff, because I find that kind of boring, and I just get the more satisfaction in the quote-unquote more skill way to play, which is, you know, trying to go for speedruns but also taking no damage in the process. So that's what we are heading for now. Yeah, but this is funnily enough behind the scenes how it always looks like. Because I mentioned that in the video before, like, it takes hours and hours until I get the perfect run going. So right here, I just failed a run, started a new recording, you know, immediately in the failure screen, immediately requeuing. Which, for the record, some people ask me, not even like recently, but all the time, why some of these videos don't have commentary, like why a lot of these basic speedruns don't have commentary. It's literally because of the hour thing. I sometimes do these speedruns on the side as well, you know, with other people around and all that stuff, and talking about the same thing happening over and over and over again, because you have to reset a whole lot and you just can't get the job done, is like really tiring. That's the main reason why a lot of these have no commentary. What is reserved for commentary are like the bigger runs, because they're either taken from stream or, you know, with more, I guess, commentary commitment, if that makes sense. So the bigger ones normally have commentary because, again, mostly taken from stream wards. But the smaller ones, like this one, normally don't have commentary because I just do them on the side, you know. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there. But yeah, we're gonna go into the thing. Before we actually go in there, is there another way to show this? No, let me go back a moment, because let's talk about my loadout maybe first before we jump into the trial. Stun is the best rig right now. It has a shitload of utility, including stunning enemies, disarming traps, recovering stamina, and all that shit, which is pretty nice. But you can also use it as a sound distract item, which I actually opt out doing a lot, theoretically at least, in not toxic shock, but in anything that is ultra difficulty, because if you use it as a sound device, you can get a shitload of value out of it without blowing through a 5-minute cooldown afterwards. So that is really nice. And you know, it's the best rig for the job. Noise reduction is just so good. It's the most broken amp in the game right now. Basically, you can run around freely and enemies don't normally hear you. On Ultra, it's a little bit different how it works, because enemies will still be able to fairly quickly notice you if you just run around like a headless chicken with this. But if you don't run noise reduction, you cannot run at all, basically. Like, you run like for, I don't know, 2 meters and an enemy across the room has already noticed you. It's actually insane. So it feels really mandatory for a speedrun like this. Then Invisible, which is currently bugged. If you're watching this in the far future, maybe Invisible has been fixed or whatnot. So I will just throw that out there. Basically, you can hide in front of enemies and you know they will not catch you, yada yada yada. It's inconsistent, the value that you can get out of this, because enemies can still detect you, especially if you just hide right next to them. But let's say they're across the room and you go into a hiding spot and they see you enter that, they normally don't pull you out of this. So this is insane value in that regard. And Surplus, which seems to be like an interesting choice for speedrunning, but you're gonna realize in the medicine category, there aren't that many good amps to use. Like, a lot of the amps are, I mean, it's called medicine for a reason, and we're doing a speedrun with no damage. So, a lot of the stuff doesn't help me. The only other one you could have argued that would help me is boosted, because you get one of these permanent items. But I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't really help a whole lot. And that you will be like, whoa, 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 what the hell are you talking, Kotz? Think about it. The perma health bottle doesn't help me at all, because we're not opting to take any damage at all. The battery as well. We have the prescriptions, so battery lasts forever, and in case it ever should come close to running out, there should be some batteries around to help me. Now, the stamina syringe would be the main reason why you go for boosted in the first place. And the thing is, it's not that good right now because of the exhaustion problem that I talked about quite a lot recently. Basically, right now, they did changes in the 1.0 update, so you have a delay until your stamina starts recovering again. Not your exhaustion, your stamina. So right now it's way more worth to exhaust yourself to get all of your stamina back immediately. So there aren't many scenarios where the stamina syringe is that useful, since you're exhausted for like 1.5 seconds max, which is like insane. Like, that needs changing. But yeah, it's the same reason why stuff like hide and breathe isn't that good right now. Hide and breathe is probably becoming one of my favorite amps. Like, they really redesigned that really well. But the problem is, adrenaline and all that stuff isn't that useful right now with how the exhaustion problem works right now. So yeah, that's behind the build, and obviously I'm running surplus to get either a brick or a bottle. Mind you, if I get an antidote or a health thing, I won't reset the run. If I reset every single time I got like a bad item, then I would probably still run this today while I record this today. Like, I would still run this, which is, you know, quite sad and depressing. Which, another thing, before we finally get into the run, I'm just gonna say it right now. I normally opt for a challenge like this to go for no mistakes if it's like a solo trial, because it obviously is way more sexy to write that on the YouTube title and thumbnail and whatnot, but it's not my priority. Like, right here, I got a no damage result because I stepped on one glass sound trap. over the trial, which I didn't notice until the very end. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be a no damage speedrun, and then it's, you know, done for. However, no damage is really important to me, especially since it's the toxic shock gimmick, because that means that in this run, I have to fully respect the toxic shock mechanic to not take any damage. So yeah, this is like important to me. But yeah, let's finally get into the actual run, which I hope the video quality isn't too bad. I have to record it literally from YouTube, as you can see, but I hope it's not too bad. I will also pause a whole lot, obviously, but yeah, we're going in here. As you can see, we got the big health, which I said it before, I'm not resetting. Right here, this is like my speedrun philosophy. I will waste precious seconds here and there to jump over traps, but that's literally what I do because I want to have that good grade and potentially no mistakes, because that's just my kink. That's literally just my kink, to get, you know, A+ no mistake speedruns out on YouTube, so people can be like, oh my god, you're insane. Like, that's what I jerk off to, okay? You got me. But yeah, that guy behind you spawns. If I was doing a speedrun here with level 1, where you are slower than usual, I would consider baiting him into like a side room, but that's not so important right now. Right here, it's just running through here, passing this guy, and all these have like multiple spawn points, so yeah. And we're going in here, which is our first segment with the, you know, with the boxes. Now, luckily for me here, this was not a barricaded door, but instead that was, you know, a door trap one. It doesn't really matter for this specific run if I just make noise and trigger the other guy, because there's a lot of darkness that I can maneuver around. And while he's searching his ass off, I can just get this objective done. So yeah, luckily for me, there's like a box right here. Keep in mind that there's a glass patch right here, so in case I want to take this path right there towards the side. Also, there was a rat there. I don't know if I will pick that up. Also, as a side note, regarding the rats during the event, I was just going for luck. Normally, with the posters, you can learn some poster spot here and there to make it easier. With the rats, since I mean, I have played the Toxic Shock event a bunch, because I had to get all the cosmetics, but still, with the rats, I just didn't have enough time to learn all the spots, so I was just kind of hoping and, you know, trying to look out for the noise they make, and also just look into some random containers from time to time, but it was mostly luck based if we get all the rats, so that is kind of awkward. But yeah, go through here. This is barricaded, so this could also already be a problem. I might make it my mission to check the other door if that's barricaded as well. That is also barricaded, and we opt to go for this one because it is the more distant one between me and the guy patrolling. The screamer's like right here. You will notice I will pause here a slight bit, like not jump over the glass immediately, so I don't get screwed by the vision here. And, you know, hopefully dodge that. Mind you, I got caught by one sound trap according to the report at the end, so this might have been that one. Like, I don't know, in retrospective, I haven't watched this enough. So yeah, this guy's now here. I'm gonna bash this open, and in a moment the first toxic wave should start. Right here, because of the glass, we have the wall sideways, and now it's on to, yeah, okay, we pick up that red. Now it's for me to reposition myself towards the conveyor belt already, hopefully, to get a hiding spot right next to it. Now this guy is like panicking a bit. Yeah, it's going like right here, and we go right in here. Now, without invisible, this guy might have found me, might have not. But yeah, with invisible, yeah, it sucked, dude. Now, regarding Toxic Shock, it's actually very important for the speedrun to get some timings down. There aren't that many trials right now that, you know, you need timings to not screw up runs. The only ones being toxic shock ones and the ones with the conveyor belts, and obviously we have one combined. So yeah, it is very important in this specific run to get the first gas out here for 2 reasons. One reason we will get into later, you can do a gas cancel. I will explain that when we get to that. And 2, I don't want to start the conveyor belt yet and then have the gas and, you know, get a bad cycle, basically. So yeah, this guy panics around. Nothing done. This guy just said nothing done. It was maybe a bit bad to hear right now, because the audio might be screwed, which, by the way, apologies if the audio is screwed, but this guy just said nothing done. So we know he's back in the patrol straight, and this is really good for us, because right now, when we have to deal with the conveyor belt segment, ideally, I want this guy to just patrol, because 99% of the time this guy will not find us if he just patrols outside. But if he's like in alert state, this person becomes unpredictable, and this is applicable to a lot of strats and whatnot, that you want the enemies to be in a position where they're just patrolling, because then their pathing is really predictable and you can just do your job. Yeah, but if they're unpredictable, this might be that they're looking one of the rooms, but it could also mean that they would randomly enter this room, and that would obviously be bad, because then we would have to initiate combat, and spoilers, I don't wanna waste resources. In general, with runs like these, especially the ones on Ultra with all the loadout restrictions, not necessarily loadout restrictions, I mean somewhat with the cooldowns, but item restrictions, I should say, I don't wanna waste my resources unnecessarily. So if you can avoid this confrontation, that would be really nice. But yeah, the toxic shock thing, I think, just ended. Yep. Looking around real quick, there's a rat to the left that we'll probably pick up. Getting the first thing in. Which, for the record, this thing does not make noise, which is a really interesting design choice, because normally all objectives kinda do make noise. So that's interesting. But yeah, I always hide behind here just to be sure, because sometimes it almost seems random, but this person can detect you if you just expose yourself here, but it normally doesn't happen. But just to be sure, better safe than sorry, right? So yeah, these things come now here, because they are collectively just put one, drop, put the other one. Sometimes it has happened in the past before, by the way, that I accidentally pick up the second one and miss the first one, and I have to reset here. That actually has happened a bunch of times in this run for some reason, so that's awkward. That's an awkward side note. But yeah, you just go ahead, and since we've prepped this area so much, we just drag all the shit in there, get the key, and get the fuck out of here through the shortcut. Now, it is important to mention here that I am on a massive time. I thought it lagged because the screen was like standing still, but yeah. Get the key, get the fuck out of here. Through this way, because it's obviously the most efficient, and I will mention in a second now the whole thing that I mentioned earlier about the gas skip, but let's move ahead first. This is gonna be the first time we're gonna use the stun, by the way. I will just let this play out. There's a screamer here, remember that. So right here, I used that as a panic state. I thought that that person might have come too close, and it is very important that this person does not enter the room. So what I actually did in my finished run is throw the stun at the end of the hallway. Like right here. It would have been awkward here because I would have hit the screamer and taken the 5-minute cooldown, but It is important that that guy notices you right off the bat, and since the stun recovers pretty quickly, even with Ultra, if you use it as a distract item, it's a good use here. So you just throw it here, this guy notices you, comes patrolling here, we loop around, enter the room, and press the button before the guy can't enter you yet. But yeah, I panic here basically, which doesn't matter because it's also cooldown reduced because I hit no enemy, so it doesn't really matter that I fucked it up. But yeah, right here. Okay, it doesn't show actually. It actually doesn't show. This is one of these ones where it doesn't show. One thing that you might have noticed when you watched the other run was that the gas started and immediately dissipated. What I found out about Toxic Shock, that in, I guess you could call them gameplay tutorial areas, I suppose, for trials, the gas is both paused and reset. This is one of these areas because, you know, the game quote-unquote teaches you about the box mechanic and the control room mechanic. And another example would be in Vindicate the Guilty, when you do your first head in the jury room and then get the asset from that side room. Basically, during these tutorial segments mid-trial, the Toxic Shock mechanic is paused. This is the main reason why this first 3 minutes is so important. And it's very important to nail this down and to get the first gas event before the conveyor belt, because then you can get the conveyor belt in peace. And it's very important to get here before the second alarm, because when the second alarm goes off and you press the button, it will automatically cancel when that quote-unquote cutscene of the guy going in there gets put into place. Then the gas will automatically stop, and now we don't have to worry about this mechanic until you have put the Vax A box in there. So right now we don't have to worry about the mechanic at all because it's in that tutorial gameplay area. So we we get the key. It's very important to figure out where Gooseberry is. Gooseberry is downstairs right now. She might also spawn upstairs. It's a little bit different how you handle her in any given moment. Now this pillar, I fucked that up here, but this pillar is got here, which I found out in later runs. Basically, you can hide behind that and mirror her movement and she won't detect you. And I should have done that here. Like right here, I needed to initiate a chase here with her, which is pretty bad. She notices the sound that I did last, which is this door. So she comes around here from this side. And I door snap and basically make it so she has to break the door down and potentially lose me because of that. Which is a very neat trick that if you want to get, quote-unquote professional Outlast Trials gameplay going, you need to take note of this. Basically, the door snapping is obviously very nice, but this is one of the main reasons why it is nice, because I'm not losing any distance while closing doors, and she's now lost in that room, and she's not coming for me doing the key immediately, and once I put the key in, I just can freely move upstairs, because she is still over there checking for her belongings. So yeah, regarding the Vax A box, I either check downstairs if Gooseberry is around and I can't immediately move upstairs, or I check from upstairs right here. And I mean, this part here is just really straightforward. I'm just gonna go ahead and find the box, which there isn't really a method to make this any faster to check for the boxes. What I guess you could technically do here for speedrun is already take note of where some B and C boxes are, so you can figure out where they are faster, but honestly it's not really that necessary even. But yeah. Going through them here as quickly as possible. Not necessarily because of the toxic shock mechanic, as I mentioned earlier, but because of the, because we're doing a speedrun after all. We're just gonna go ahead and drop this here. Gooseberry is still downstairs, so you have to be careful. Yeah, Gooseberry's like moving like now upstairs. Yeah, she's moving upstairs. Like she's moving between upstairs and downstairs a lot, and you have to really, you know, gauge your windows of opportunity here. Again, a really good tip here is to abuse this pillar. Like this pillar right here, this yellow pillar, is like really nice and really god tier in that regard. Okay, once this guy is waxed, the toxic shock thing starts again. Because then the tutorial area is basically over, is the bottom line of this. Now it's very important. In a normal Pervert the Futterman speedrun, it doesn't matter whether you go up for the keys first or the boxes. I found in the toxic shock variant, it's very important to do the boxes first. And I will tell you in a moment why. Because right here, this right here is a recipe that I learned over the course of attempts is a foolproof recipe to deal with the conveyor bots really well. And you might apply this to your own gameplay, even beyond toxic shock. So right here, Gooseberry is still upstairs, so she won't come here immediately. So we scan for what boxes we need and try to remember that. Which for the record, I never noticed that, but you don't have, you know, a TV observing feature like you have in Kill the Snitch, so I never noticed that subtle difficulty change, I suppose. But yeah, we get a liquid charger here. This is very rare. This is, I'm just gonna say it straight up, this is very rare, and we have to cherish that liquid charger. Ideally even save it for the end. There's a hiding spot person there. I was tempted to just throw the stun at the hiding spot person to, you know, get him out of here, but one, an enemy up here might have hurt me and then I would have been in trouble, and two, they might reposition to an even worse hiding spot for me, so I let them be. Get another red. And right now we are looking for the boxes. One guy spawns here that patrols the storage areas, and Gasman might also spawn here because he hasn't spawned in a while. Yeah, that's the first guy. I don't even remember the numbers, but me in the recording does, so I don't even I think 480 was one of the ones. And yeah, this was the other one, I suppose. 480 on the other side. You can obviously identify that the erotic boxes don't have a label and the lubricant ones have this blue label. So you can kinda distinguish them better without even looking at the serial number first. Like there's a little speed up thing, but it's not really that important. But yeah, just put them on the belt right now. And don't worry about anything right here, like not being able to catch up downstairs. Like, as you can see, I'm not speeding through this, I'm just taking it slow because it literally works. It just works. Now we go downstairs. We have our stun ready in case Gooseberry tries something stupid. And we can literally just wait here a little bit and you will already see the first box coming here. Yep, right there. And we also checked for our hiding spot because the toxic shock cycle will almost be upon us. So this is box C. We lay it right next to the conveyor belt. This is important. Right next to it, not committing onto it. And this is B. We just put it out of the way pretty much. And this is the important bit. And the main reason why I found out this is so effective is if you just go for the boxes, identify them immediately, get immediately up to the storage, get them down here. I found it is very consistent that you get all the boxes off this conveyor belt before the alarm sirens hit. So we get it off a little bit towards the destination, and now we are in a hidey hole. Now it is worth noting, if you play Pervert the Futterman in general, don't do them in the correct order. Like, don't put B in there and then also the B key and progress the thing. Just leave it B and do C first, because I found if you do that, like do it in the correct order, then Gooseberry just completely, like I do put it in here because I don't have the key yet, but I found if you do it in the correct order, Gooseberry's just gonna camp the second conveyor belt. So right now she shouldn't, and we should be able to just get this. And you've probably heard some people talk about this before. You just go upstairs, and you know, if you just keep going, here I exhaust myself, but because of the exhaustion problem I mentioned earlier, you just get it back immediately. So that's the correct play, which is a bit of a game design flaw in my opinion. But if you just go up, you can see you can immediately catch that. And we still have the stun rig in case Gooseberry tried something. So yeah, we get it immediately. Get it a little bit further, but not all the way, because now we worry about the keys. Right here, I think that's at archives. We completely ignore the gate mechanic. Maintenance. Now right here I will have to use the my first stun, because this is just an unfortunate room. Now mind you, if I spotted the key just a little bit earlier, I would have been able to save the stun here unironically. Like, let's say I spotted the key right there, picked it up immediately. This guy comes in. He locked onto me, but I choked his lunge on this thing. I could have, you know, baited out the attack, sprinted out, closed the door, and completely saved the stun. But because I didn't spot the key immediately, I would have to, you know, slow it down, because I can't risk taking damage, obviously. Oh wait, the other one was showers, right, in this run? I think the other one was showers. Yeah, now the toxic shock event starts again. I'm just gonna say it right now, this is where the run kinda died, quote unquote. The key is right there, but I don't find that in the run. Spoilers. Because of the toxic shock mechanic, I just hyperfixated on, oh, there's a hiding spot, and I completely missed out on the key. So yeah. What's happening down the line is I look for this intensely through both of the showers. And yeah, I fucked up, and you know, I completely missed that. That's obviously really bad, and that basically cemented this as an inferior run. But yeah. Just looked around furiously for a bit until I found the key. And obviously this is bad, because right here we have to deal with another toxic shock. As you could see with my other attempt that I uploaded, the 16-minute one, what should have happened here is you get the keys, get the boxes in, and get through the production line, and then the toxic shock hits while it's producing the toy, so you can save time, because the game is stalling anyways while the toy is being produced. You can just hide it out, but obviously that fucks up the cycle right here. But yeah, after the toxic shock ends, we do what was supposed to be an easy job. And yeah, the main reason why I put the box right here instead of carrying it all the way already was because now we can pick up the box with the keys in mind and be a bit more efficient with it. So yeah. We just drag it down. Gooseberry's right behind this, but she can't interact with this, so she will loop around. We can just go ahead and, you know, close the door just in case she turned around. Put the box in, put the key in, and now put the other key in. And yeah, unfortunately we fucked up the toxic shock cycle here, as you will be able to see in a little bit. Because now we're gonna get the toxic shock thing after it produced the toy, I think, if I remember correctly, but at least we got all the rats, so that's nice. So yeah, looking for a hiding spot. That one is, you know, occupied. You just have to be very mindful of your surroundings. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. This pretty much cemented this as a bit of a whack run. Honestly, because it just... Now she's leaving, which it's very important that you don't initiate chase while the toy is being produced, because then otherwise she would stay and make things way more complicated. But yeah, right here, that's the problem, right there. And that's the main reason why me not finding that key was so terrible. Because now we're in a cycle where the toy is ready, and I should be able to do it, but I can't because I fucked up with my timing earlier. Like, I got the timing at the beginning very well with the conveyor belts and the gas skip and all that stuff, but here I fucked up, and that's the main reason why that run turned into a bad one after all. But yeah, now this other person will spawn. We have a stun ready for this person. I will, however, loop them first, because the stun might not be long enough for, you know, for the whole thing to crank. So I loop them around. This is, by the way, the method you use without a loadout. Just loop them around this. It's very easy to do. But yeah, now I can use the stun. Because otherwise it wouldn't really have lasted that long. And now we run towards the gas thing. We get a second liquid charger, which is, you know, god tier. Like, this is a blessing. That was a little bug here. Nothing unusual for the trials. Even though I still experience I don't experience a whole lot of bugs, mind you. At all. Like, I sometimes feel people force bugs to just be like, oh my god, this game is buggy as shit. Like, that is what it feels like sometimes when I see like a bug compilation. Because I haven't seen half of these bugs, like, at all, that are showcased in these videos. But yeah. Now for the gas segment here, ideally, I wanna wait out the toxic shock cycle real quick. There it is. It's very convenient that it just came. I remembered that there were lockers there. There's a person right next to me, which is awkward, but yeah. It is what it is. But now I should be able to just crank it and, you know, burn the toy and then get the fuck out of here. I don't have to worry about the rats anymore. That's the difference between this run and the other run that I uploaded. In the other one, I was panicking when I was, like, rerouted the production line because I only had 2 rats. And that could have killed the run, obviously, but luckily I got all the rats afterwards. I put it to 4 because that's, like, good enough normally. A screamer got triggered there, that's fair enough. Out of here. Now it's important that with Gooseberry, I don't remember if I had to loop her here. Sometimes Gooseberry goes towards the other direction, which is really weird and gives you like a 3-1 cycle. Here it wasn't the case. It's very important I'm not using my liquid charger and my stun here because I want to save that for the end part. Like, to get the fuck out of there for, you know, basically guaranteed without taking damage. It's just a safety precaution thing, and it, you know, doesn't add too much in my opinion if you just loop around like this. But yeah, the toy's burned, and now we can get the fuck out of here. Now we use the liquid charger. This where we just spawned. This might actually have been the sound trap that actually got me the thing. Unfortunately, I had to deal with another toxic shock one. This is just really unfortunate because I don't think there's a perfect cycle that you can do it, because you want to wait out for the toxic shock before you turn the valve and burn the toy. But by the time you get here, you will have another toxic shock again. Maybe if you maneuver perfectly, you can, you know, get the thing to start talking about, you know, gas. But the shuttle is already arriving, basically, so you can, you know, so you then don't have to go into hiding. Maybe that's a thing that's possible. I haven't tested that much, because obviously once I get that run, I stopped speedrunning this, but yeah. And that's pretty much the run. Because of Invisible, even though she knows that I'm in there, because I stunned her and then immediately went into hiding right in front of her. Yeah. Just another time loss here, and that's basically the run for you. I hope you enjoyed that, by the way. I would love to get a shitload of feedback on this, because, as I said before, I'm not that biggest fan of doing guide content, because I don't know, I sometimes feel they don't do that well, and you know, other people are doing guides already and they do way better because they explain it way better, or whatever the case may be. But I would love to get feedback on this. If you enjoyed this, if the way I present this is good enough, if I talk too little in some segments, you know, if I explain something, if I talk too much and, you know, should just let it play out more. Like, I would love to get a shitload of feedback on this video, unironically. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a comment or something, you know, sharing your thoughts on, you know, how I handled this video. I would really appreciate that a lot, because, as I said in the beginning, I might want to do that with, you know, future videos. And hell, I still have a shitload of speedruns on the back burner on my hard drive from months ago that I can use for background footage if I do a discussion video. I might just go ahead and use one of these and, you know, do another video like this, you know, analyzing a courthouse one from way back in the day, and, you know, just talk a little bit about what's changed but what also has stayed the same, and talk about strategies in there. I might do that as well, for example. So yeah, but yeah, that's basically that, turning around. And yeah, there's not much else to say besides thank you for sticking with me for another long video. I mean, I expected it to take a while to get through this because it's a lot to talk about. But yeah, if you enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Outlast Trials content in the near future. And other than that, have a great rest of your day and take care, everyone. Bye bye.